So, what would you like to be remembered for most? What would you like the legacy of Robert Mugabe to be in the minds of his own people?
Of his own people, that there was once a man called Robert Mugabe who in the interest of his own people, fought the struggle to liberate them, and had ideas, ownership of the resources by his own people, and fact that the people should be united to remain revolutionary, guard against colonial and imperial powers that seek to undermine the authority governments, and wanted it, desired right up to the end that his own people should be masters of their own destiny, and that is all. I don't desire to be known as anything greater than that. And I think that is very great if I was given that recognition, purely that. And that's what a recognition I think all nationalists leaders would want. The issue of having been a great man, or could go into the books, I just remain a simple man, one of my own, part of my society, and that is all. Good.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Some people still say, because we are white and you're black, we can't give you the honor of equality in the Security Council. Nonsense. That should stop. Mr. Bakimoon, just tell them for the last time, just as a message that you have heard for the last time from here, that there should be real equality in the Security Council. We can't just be coming to the General Assembly to make empty, hollow speeches and go back home. Nobody takes care of all the concerns we express. No. And anyway, the headquarters is actually of the United Nations is misplaced. Where do you have most of the people? You have 1.2 million billion, 1.2 million people in India, 1.3 in China, and Africa, we are getting to nearly a billion also. Now put us together, just these three. And then put those with the white faces and pink noses. Put them together as against us. How many are they, even man to a man? And do we allow that group should continue to harass us even in our independent countries? Regime change, Mugabe should not be there, we want someone else. The Creator was telling me the other day that we don't mind having and bearing sanctions banning us from Europe. We are not Europeans. We have not asked for any inch of Europe, or any square inch of that territory. So, Blair, keep your England and let me keep my Zimbabwe. Mr. Chairman, having said that, may I say, people must always come first in any process of sustainable development. And let our Africans come first in the development of Africa, not as puppets, not as beggars, but as a sovereign people. I thank you. I say to you, journalists, thank you for paying so much attention, those of you who write for those papers we read, for paying so much attention to us and to President Mugabe, and for the publicity you have given me as you focused, those of you who focused on me as a real dictator. Yes, a dictator would have cut the throat of Ian Smith. The first time we gave on first day we got back, but I say no. Let us turn our swords into plowshares and forget about yesterday.
We are fighting a war which is a very difficult one, but in spite of the difficulties posed by the enemy, we take care not to make people unnecessarily suffer.
But I quote from your own publication, Zimbabwe News. All land to the tillers, socialism now. You have to hit a racist settler in the groin and skull hard, very, very hard, before you can get him to scream those words. That's what we proposed. That's what we will continue to do till final victory. Let us never forget that only a dead imperialist is a good one. Now, is that the kind of language that's likely to make soldiers behave responsibly?
This is only a dramatic way of saying we are waging a struggle to overthrow the settler system. It does not literally mean that we go all out to destroy the whites. No, we are fighting a just war aimed at the overthrow of the settler government, which is presently oppressing our people.
You see, I wonder whether language like that might not incite young men to commit the most appalling acts within the conflict.
No one is fighting an individual war. All our fighters are fighting collectively under a command that derives its authority from the Central Committee of the party.
Is going to give people food, houses, farms, money and everything they want.
What's Mr. Mugabe going to do for you?
Employment for my husband, betterment for my husband, schools, clinics, peace. I think that's the things that I want.
What will you do if Mr. Mugabe doesn't give you these things?
I don't expect it. I don't want to think about it. I'm sure he won't disappoint us. I'm sure of it.
Want a good and free country to live in.
And what else?
Jobs, good houses, better pay, and things like that.
I'm very happy about the victory of Mr. Mugabe, and I'm expecting big changes, such as people in the squatters will be removed to good houses. In the jobs, we'll be having equal jobs, equal money, and everything like that. There will be no racial discrimination between people.
How will you feel if Mr. Mugabe fails to bring these changes?
Well, that will leave it.